town called Nazareth. Nathanael, in all his humanity, doubted the report coming from Philip that Jesus was, in fact, the long-awaited Messiah, simply because Jesus was born in Nazareth, or came from Nazareth. Nathanael asked the question, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Man, that's the hood. That's sure enough ghetto. Them folk in Nazareth are unlearned, unskilled, uncouth, and undesirable. And Philip's only reply was, come and see. Come and see. How many times, Elder Colbert, have you tried to share your faith with a non-believer? But by telling them of the goodness of the Lord, how he saves souls, how he heals bodies and opens doors and makes ways out of no way. And that person you're ministering to starts telling you about what they heard. I heard about those church folk. I heard the pastor is telling a bunch of lies and running the women in the church and always begging for money to support his lavish lifestyle. And when that happens, you simply respond by saying, you're telling me what you've heard. Now, am I inviting you to come and see? And so when Jesus and Nathanael came face to face for the first time, immediately the Lord discerned that Nathanael was a good man and addressed him as an Israelite in whom there is no guile. That blew Nathanael's mind. How could Jesus make such a bold statement when we had never met? And neither one of us knew anything about the other, or so I suppose. And so Nathanael asked, when knowest thou me? In other words, have we met before? How do you know me? And how do you know all about me? Now listen, Jesus could have very well answered that he knew Nathanael before Nathanael was born. He could have very easily said, just as God told Jeremiah there in Jeremiah 1, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. And before you came forth out of the womb, I sanctified you and I ordained you to be a prophet. He could very easily have said unto Nathanael that while you were just a heartbeat in your mother's womb, I watched you. He could very well have said, before your mother and your father were old enough to know about the birds and the bees, I saw you. Could have easily have told Brother Nathanael, before your existence was even a thought, floating through the eons of time, I knew you. Then Nathanael's in here today. But such an answer, Jesus understood, would have been too heavy for Nathanael's little finite brain to comprehend. So Jesus answered him by saying there in the text, before Philip called you, when you were there under that fig tree, I saw you. And that was enough right there, Sister Debbie, to convince Nathanael that Jesus was the Lord. Because he knew that only a man of great discernment, a man of God, or even God himself could have known that he had been under that fig tree. Of all the trees there in Palestine, he understood that